trusting, I kept obeying his voice, because I knew what he promised me that he was able to do. And you know what? And then it finally
I am Dr. Deanah Maxwell Stafford. I am a board-certified family medicine physician here in Tuskegee, Alabama. I'm a native of Tuskegee, Alabama, graduate of Booker T. Washington High School. Went on to do my undergraduate training at UAB, and then went to the University of Alabama for a master's degree, returned back to the University of Alabama School of Medicine in Birmingham for my MD, and completed a family medicine residency at Tuscaloosa.
What I want to know is, whoever gave you the idea that you could be a doctor?
So I always tell people I think that was my purpose. I think that's what I was destined to do ever since I can remember, probably as early as pre-K. I knew I wanted to be a doctor.
What was the most serious challenges that you experienced along the way in keeping that confidence that that's what you wanted to do?
You know, I don't think I had many challenges in keeping that. I was very fortunate that anybody I told that to was always very supportive and encouraging. One of the biggest challenges of achieving that goal was actually getting into medical school, passing the medical college admissions test. That was a struggle. I think I ended up taking the test 4 or 5 times before I finally got the score needed to even interview to get into medical school. Once I kind of got past that, felt like I could do anything. But that was probably a year or 2 delay in the process, was getting into medical school.
Now, along the way, did you have anybody inspiring you to take the right courses and do the right thing to satisfy that dream that you had?
So I think it was more people just, what is the word I'm looking for? People were pushing me and kind of catching on to my dream, and so everyone was helpful. You know, it did take a lot of outside research on my part. I found programs to participating in that helped me know what I needed, but I think it was just once people saw my passion and my desire, they would do whatever they could. And sometimes there was a learning curve because people didn't exactly know what was needed, but I did have guidance counselors along the way. I had program staff at the University of Alabama that was helpful, and so it was a learning process. And so now that I've kind of learned the steps, I try to help other people know what those steps are.
Now, coming through that medical school situation, you had, I'm sure, a lot of complications in decision making, and there had to be some inspirers or some mentors there. How did you manage to connect with those mentors?
You know, again, I think it was all divinely inspired that people were put in my path to help me get there. And again, once people saw my desire, they kind of grabbed hold, and whatever they could do, they did do. You know, growing up in Tuskegee, we were very fortunate that everyone we saw that was a professional or that was in different careers looked like us. And so it wasn't an issue for me to think that I could do whatever I wanted to do. And so sometimes I think we lose sight of that uniqueness that we have in the predominantly minority community, and we need to get back to focusing on that and helping our students see that we can be whatever we want to be, whatever we need to be. And so I really feel like it was all divinely inspired for me to be right here talking to you right now. There are just so many different people in my path that inspired and nurtured my desire to go into medicine.
I asked that question because there's a lot of fear among young people that they're into these things by themselves. and they don't relate to the spiritual connection. And they also ignore some of the human connections of people who want to help them. What do you say to young people about when you catch a hold to the dream, to just stay with it and don't ever turn it loose?
They have to be convicted. They have to know that that's what they want, and then anything that gets in the way, you figure out a way to get past it. In those moments when you can't see, you've got to have people in your circle that are just as passionate about your success, so when you want to quit, they won't let you quit. They're filling in gaps or giving that encouragement. So I think the first thing is we've got to inspire the kids to have a dream. And that can start as early as kindergarten, first grade, preschool, encouraging and nurturing whatever it is that they say they want to do. And so I think sometimes we wait too late. You know, it's too late once someone gets to high school to begin your dreams work. We can start doing things with kids in elementary school and younger. So I think having a circle of people that will not let you give up on your dream, because there are moments you get tired and you're like, okay, there's an easier way. But when you have people that can physically remind you, remember you said you wanted to do this, or what can I do to help with that, that goes a long way.
Yeah, but how do you deal with the naysayers though? How do you deal with the little children who want to play and they don't want you bringing this old straight stuff in, talk about wanting to be a doctor? I just want you to listen to me. How do you deal with the naysayers in the community who say, girl, you can't do that? How do you get past those things for the sake of young people out there?
You kind of don't deal with them. You know, if your mission is to do this, you still focus on what it is you need to do. It's similar to the vaccine debate. There are people who are not getting the vaccine. I don't care what you do. Okay, that's where they are. We don't spend a lot of time there because they are dead set. There's no possibility. Then you have people who are kind of like, I don't know about that. I'm not sure. You know, I'm not saying no, but I'm not saying yes. Those are the people you continue to encourage. You continue to educate. You continue to work with. Even though these people over here have said no, they'll get some of that information as you continue to work with those people who have not ruled it out. So when you talk about young kids, you also have to talk about meeting them where they are. So a program I worked with in Tuscaloosa used to do puppet shows to introduce health careers. They didn't know they were introducing health careers. The kids just knew they got a good puppet show and maybe learned what a nurse or a paramedic was. And so sometimes you have to get creative. You can't always necessarily beat people over the head, but you can plant a seed or plant knowledge, and then you build on it over the years. And so if you kind of go from that approach, you don't really deal with or entertain the naysayers. You kind of work towards your goal and keep focused on that. And my experience has been that tends to work well.
How do you attract new patients?
By current patients. You know, I'm thankful that a lot of my patient base is built from Miss So-and-so told me to come see you, or you took care of my auntie, or you took care of my grandmother, or you took care of this person. I do some hospital work sometimes, and I've been surprised at patients that I may have seen in the hospital for acute illness, or patients that have been terminal in the hospital. Every now and then we'll get a patient that says, well, I met you when you took care of so-and-so in the hospital. And so I think the best advertisement is word of mouth.
I see you set up a new office complex. Where did that decision come from?
Goes back to when I was younger. The goal was always to come back home and open an office, to quote unquote hang my shingle. When I left here, that was the goal, but then I did get a little sidetracked. Oh, that's intimidating. Oh, I'm not sure I can do that. I'm not sure I can handle the business side. Let me just go work for other people. And that did not work well. You know, I kept trying to do it the quote unquote easy way, or what I thought was an easier way. And so actually me coming back home is actually coming back to part of that original goal and original dream, which was to come back home and open up a practice.
So you found people at this level too that was able to still help you do what you needed to do, right?
So yes, but again, I think it goes back to my drive and my desire and whether people were going to help me, I was going to get it done. But I've been blessed that there were people who took hold and helped and encouraged and said, what can I do? But I think it has to go back to that person's innate drive and innate desire to make it happen. And so I think we would have gotten here some way or another, but I've been fortunate and blessed to get here with the help and good wishes of a lot of different people in this community.
And you are all into the COVID-19 situation. So what do you say to the community about where we are now in this pandemic?
So I say to the community that if you are sitting here, if you're watching this, then you are blessed that you are here. I say to the community that there are patients of mine that I was talking to last year that are not here today. COVID has been horrific. It's been horrific to deal with as a family member of people who had COVID. It's been difficult to deal with as a healthcare worker who worked in the hospital. It's been difficult to deal with as someone starting a small business in the midst of a pandemic. As a provider, it's been difficult, but we have made it. We're on the other side and things are better. COVID is not gone. You're just not seeing as many people die on a daily basis. I think we had 2 or 3 new deaths in this area yesterday. And so while COVID is much better, it is not gone. We still have a very large vulnerable population in children 12 and under who are not eligible to get a vaccine. So even though those of us who've been vaccinated have been vaccinated, we still need to be careful and take precautions because of those among us who have not been vaccinated and some of them who are not eligible to be vaccinated. But we're definitely in a better place than we were a year ago this time.
Now, I want your best advice to the children of our community.
Oh, goodness. The best advice to the children. There's so many things, but the one thing is to find something that drives you, find something that you enjoy, and set a goal for yourself. You know, we need to work with our kids on setting goals. That can be short-term goals because short-term goals will turn into long-term goals. So set a goal. You know, if you want to finish the end of the year with all A's or whatever they're using for grades these days, then set that goal. If you want to end the year with all B's because you had C's last year, set that goal. Find something to work towards and attain it, and I think that practice will carry you far in life. So find a goal, set a goal, and work to achieve it.
The name of your clinic is?
Rhema Health and Wellness.
Okay. Now, why?
So, as I understand it, when I was looking for a name, I wanted something that meant something. And so when we talk about a rhema word in the Bible, there are several different interpretations. One that spoke to me is that a rhema word is an utterance from God. It's something that was quickened in your spirit but brought to fruition in the natural world. And so for me, it was very personal because I think this career, this clinic was what I was instructed to do. And maybe I took a little while to get here. But one of the things that I feel strongly about is that this is a divinely purpose plan in place. And so I know as long as I'm operating from that realm, I don't have too many concerns or fears that I once had. So Rhema to me is me fulfilling what God told me to do.
And what is the best satisfaction that you get out of being a physician?
So there are a lot of those too, but I think for me, one of the best is having the opportunity to take care of some of those people who inspired me. Some of those people who were my teachers in elementary school, who were my teachers in high school, Girl Scout leaders. Having the opportunity to now come back and play this role as part of the team for to take care of their health, I don't think there's anything better that I could that I can think of. I think that's special, and I'm honored when I get that opportunity. We are accepting new patients. If you're interested in becoming a new patient, you can call the office 334-226-1915, and we do ask that you complete a new patient packet that allows us to get some information on you. We do accept children aged 10 and up right now for routine ongoing care. So we also see patients in the community. If your doctor is outside of the community, we try to be available for you as well. So you may have a doctor in Auburn or Montgomery, but if you need a sick visit, we do try to accommodate those. So we look forward to hearing from you.